Hey, welcome to my latest video for my YouTube channel. This is a video I was intending on making quite a long time ago. I just, with my kids, I never had the opportunity to do so. Usually at this time I'd be doing a Raw review, but I didn't have the chance to watch Raw last night. So, but I heard that the end segment was really well done. It's kind of like an indie fan's wet dream with, Luke Harper of the Wyatts and Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Punk, Bryan. Speaking of an indie fan's wet dream, Cassius Ono, aka Chris Hero, was released from the WWE earlier last week. And, everyone was outraged that he was cut and that there was some kind of, mark on him. But really, like, what else do you expect the WWE to do? They have a guy here who, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have been put in NXT right off the bat. But, guys like CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, they did what they jumped through hoops for the WWE, did what they asked them to do. And they asked Chris Hero to get in some better shape. If you remember, when CM Punk made his ECW debut, he was pretty out of shape. He had the big fat jowls. And he put the work in, he got in shape, and he got his push eventually. You know, I don't think this was all about his weight. I think that the WWE was testing Chris Hero, testing his not his dedication to wrestling, because everyone knows, he's dedicated to performing. I think they were testing his ability to do what they want. Like, it's a business. They're not going to throw all their promotional power behind a guy who doesn't give a shit. So, in my opinion, I'm not surprised that Cassius Chris Hero wasn't cut already. Now, there was a development in the story yesterday. Chris Hero released a statement basically just saying, he left the WWE on good terms. If he's supposed to be back, he will, yada, 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 and then spouted off all the appearances he already has planned, which is pretty extensive for someone that just got cut. So, that shows his pull on the indie scene. Everyone wants Chris Hero. Everyone wants that first appearance from him after his run. Kind of like what happened with Daniel Bryan when he was fired. So, in my opinion, WWE made the right call. They weren't going to call him up unless they had 100% faith that he would put the work in and do what they wanted. And he wasn't putting the work in, so maybe now it opens up an opportunity for someone else, which leads me to El Generico, who's over in NXT right now as well. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Chris Hero's gone, and he's obviously going to be next because he's a small guy, and that's all the WWE wants to cut is small guys." Generico doesn't have an attitude problem. That was the problem with Chris Hero. It was not so much his size. It wasn't his in-ring ability. It was his attitude, and you can't fix that. And that's a problem that Sammy doesn't possess. But that is the whole genesis of this video, was Chris Hero. But I do have some questions that I want to get to from our Ask an Admin. So the first one comes from Roy, and I'm really sorry if I butcher this, Lucier, who is asking, do you think the Kansas City Chiefs are for real, or will the Denver Broncos expose them this weekend? 8-0, I think is what Kansas City is at now. I might be mistaken. Picking up their defense was huge for my fantasy league, so I've kind of become a closet Chief fan. Don't tell But I am a diehard Bronco fan, and I think that Manning is going to carve them up. I don't know if it's like exposing them as weaker than they are. I think it's just so much that the Broncos are that much stronger. So yeah, I predict that the Broncos will destroy them. Let's see, I'll get to a couple more here. Let's see, what do I got? I have, from Michael Grooms, if you could put 5 NBA players back into their prime and back into the game, who would you choose and why? Well, I'll try and do a starting lineup. I'm just kind of doing this off the top of my head, so if I screw up, forgive me. But for center, I would love to see someone like Bill Russell playing in today's game because, would he be that dominant going up against Dwight Howard or, would Dwight, destroy him? I think that'd be a great thing to see. For guards, I would love to see, Michael Jordan in his prime going up against LeBron and Kobe and Dwayne Wade and all the stars in the NBA right now. I think that would be great. I'd also like to bring in John Stockton, who he maybe doesn't get a lot of love in the NBA community, but he was an assist beast for the Jazz. Him and Karl Malone were kind of like a gruesome twosome, and I think he'd be great back in the NBA in his prime, going up against these guys today. If I'm thinking like other players I'd love to see, Charles Barkley, Dr. J, I think would be really really interesting to see what he would do, and Larry Bird. I think that would be a hell of a starting five. Although I may not have all 5 positions covered. It's 5 players, which is what you asked for. I will get to one more, and then off we go. Brandon Lee Smith asks me, Green Bastard episode or Rush episode? Alright, so for anyone that doesn't have an idea what the hell he's talking about, it's about Trailer Park Boys. Now, the 2 episodes he's talking about, the Green Bastard, is when they put a wrestling ring inside Sunnyvale Trailer Park, and Bubbles, dressed up as a masked wrestler known as the Green Bastard from Parts Unknown. Hilarious episode. It ends up with a disqualification because Ricky used a weapon on Leahy. It was a great episode. The Rush episode, plain and simple. Rush is a rock band I hope all of you know. If you don't know Rush, she's too young for you. Anyway, the Rush video, they all break into a Rush concert. Bubbles gets to be the guitar tech. Long story short, Green Bastard by far. But that is all the time I have for this video. Make sure to like us on Facebook at PWS Pro Wrestling Society. Follow us on Twitter, which is at the PWS Society. And leave all the comments below. Any questions you have, I need the help to improve. I'm still very new with this, so yeah, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it.